Thank you very much, Brian, and good morning, everybody. Solidarity greetings on behalf of the Trade Union Delegation, in particular Public Services International. Just for a moment, we're finding my presentation.
Just while we're waiting, Ryan did forget to mention I also represent Luxembourg. You shouldn't forget them.
Okay, but let me just begin, and while they're searching for the presentation, I'd like to start by giving a brief of a critique on the MDGs. The trade union view the MDGs as that one over there. Yes. No, not that one. The bottom one. Yes. Yes. Okay. Just on the first slide. First slide. Thank you. First slide. Yes. So just to give some the critique, because we thought the trade union views it as the goals are very limited. It attempted to, but did not address inequality. Decent work is not a priority goal with clearly defined targets and indicators. There is lack of social protection goals and targets. There is a failure to address the needs and issues of workers, failure to mobilize workers and trade unions around the MDGs, still narrowly focused on traditional aid and development cooperation model, and does not address underlying systemic causes of poverty and unemployment. According to the global employment situation, which we obtained, by 2019, no, it's okay. Don't show that. Just bring that. Yes. Just stay on the first slide.
It's better.
Yeah. Okay. By 2019, stay there. By 2019, more than 212 million people will be out of work. It is up from 201 million now that we have. The ILO predicts income inequality will continue to widen, and that already the richest 10% earn 30 to 40% of total income, while the poorest 10% earns around 2% of the total world income. There is precarious work and vulnerable employment on the rise, and young people and women continue to be disproportionately affected. So, post-MDG. Can you put the slide on post-MDG ways forward? Yes. Okay. This is what we in the trade union think as a ways forward. There should be strong focus on social equity, decent work, social protection. To implement human rights-based approach, in particular starting with a greater policy coherence between the UN bodies, in particular the International Labour Organization and International Financing Institution, to ensure core labor standards right to freedom of association and collective bargaining. To ensure strong democratic structures and processes, including social dialogue structures and tripartite mechanism. Ensure transparency and accountability at all levels, and ensure participation of trade union. To promote innovative financing for climate action and sustainable development, for example, the introduction of financial transaction tax and other taxes. There is a need to rethink and reframe the global development paradigm. As it is less inclusive, it is less transparent, and it's not democratic. There are a lot of agreements and negotiations which are out of public discussion and access. We would like to strong support for adequately funded quality public services, because in the history of countries which has become prosperous, there is a strong public services and public sector. Trade policies should not be free but fair. It should be job-led growth. We should start thinking on how to create green jobs. Rethink neoliberal policies, for example, the public-private partnership, which the President in the dialogue said it's not the be-all and end-all of development. The privatization, to promote alternative models such as public partnership. Next slide, please. This is a quote. The quote is not there. From the David Hall. This is the study on why public-private partnership don't work and the many advantages of public alternative. The research says that PPPs are used to conceal public borrowing while providing long-term state guarantees for profits to private companies. The private sector corporation must maximize profit if they are to survive. And this is fundamentally incompatible with protecting the environment and ensuring universal access to quality public services. Decades of failure of water, energy, rail, and health privatization. Despite this failure, they still continue, and to our view, those who are promoting this offers false hope. Privatization and the so-called PPPs now are coming back in fashion. Many governments are turning to PPPs in the hope that private sector will finance public infrastructure and public services savagely hit by the financial crisis. This hope has long run through World Bank and OECD, but it's now emerging in the G20 and the ongoing negotiation at the UN for the Sustainable Development Goals. And the link financing for development, if successful, privatization could become official UN policy. I said, despite years showing privatization is fundamentally flawed, there is a resurgence. And this is because in the context of economic crisis, governments are under pressure to find quick answers to hard questions about maintaining public services and funding infrastructures. The longer the crisis extends, the more pressure mounts to find answers. But so the risk of forgetting the root causes, greed, deregulation, and excessive faith in private corporations. Local and national governments and the UN are heavily influenced by powerful lobby of the biggest services and financial corporations, global consulting firms, and law firms, all intent on reaping profits from basic public services such as health, water, energy. Next one. Okay. 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 On the slides on further danger in the recent.
Since they aren't airphones, local civil society organizations cannot hear the interpretation. They're just interpreting in vain. There aren't earphones. Just could you wait at least 5 minutes because the earphones are being brought.
Okay.
5 minutes.
All right.